To understand the truth about work, we must first examine how we perceive it. From a young age, we're conditioned to see work as a necessary burden. We're taught that it's something we have to endure to achieve something in the future, a means to an end. This perception colors our entire experience of work. Society often views work through a lens of duty and obligation, as a series of tasks that must be completed to reach a distant goal, whether it's financial security, professional success, or personal achievement. But what if we could see work differently? Imagine approaching your tasks not as mere obligations, but as opportunities to engage fully with the present moment. What if we could find joy and fulfillment in the act of working itself, rather than constantly looking forward to the reward it might bring? By shifting our mindset, we can transform our experience of work. Instead of viewing it as a grind, we can start to see it as a form of creative expression, a way to contribute to the world, and a path to personal growth. This change in perspective can open up new possibilities, allowing us to find satisfaction and meaning in our daily activities. This brings us to a fundamental shift in perspective, seeing work as play. Children naturally know how to play, to immerse themselves completely in what they are doing without worrying about outcomes. They find joy in the activity itself, and in this sense they are wiser than many adults. Play is not just a frivolous activity for children, it is a profound state of being that allows for exploration, creativity, and joy. Think about how you felt when you were a child, discovering the world anew. Every task was a new adventure, every moment filled with wonder. If we could bring some of that childlike curiosity and joy into our work, we might find it transformed from a burden into a source of fulfillment. Imagine approaching each task with a sense of curiosity, wonder, and playfulness. Instead of seeing work as a series of chores, we can view it as an opportunity to explore, to create, and to express ourselves. This shift in perspective can infuse our daily activities with a sense of joy and excitement, making work feel less like a duty and more like an adventure. One of the great misconceptions about work is the belief that it will lead to future satisfaction. We are taught to believe that if we work hard now, we will eventually be rewarded with happiness, success, or security. This belief keeps us perpetually focused on the future, often at the expense of the present. We postpone our happiness, thinking that it will come once we achieve our goals. But consider this: if you are always working for the future, when do you actually get to live? The future is always just out of reach, like a mirage in the desert. True satisfaction can only be found in the present moment, in fully engaging with whatever task is at hand. When we are constantly striving for future rewards, we miss out on the richness of the present experience. By shifting our focus from future goals to present engagement, we can find joy and fulfillment in the here and now. This doesn't mean we shouldn't have goals, but rather that we should not let them overshadow the present moment. Let's take this idea further and view work as a dance. When you dance, the goal is not to get to a certain place on the floor. The purpose of dancing is to enjoy each step, each movement as it comes. If we could approach work with this mindset, we might find it much more enjoyable. Imagine that each task you perform is a step in a dance. You move with grace and purpose, not rushing to get to the end, but savoring each moment. This perspective can transform even the most mundane tasks into a source of joy and fulfillment. When you are dancing, you are fully present, enjoying the movement and the rhythm. Similarly, when you approach work as a dance, you are fully engaged in the process, finding joy in each moment. This shift in perspective allows us to experience work not as a chore, but as a beautiful dance, where each step is an opportunity for expression and enjoyment. Many of us approach work with a sense of seriousness, believing that it must be grave and earnest. But this seriousness can be a trap, making us feel burdened and stressed. What if we could lighten up a bit and approach our work with a sense of playfulness and humor? There's a wonderful quote that says, "The angels fly because they take themselves lightly. If we could learn to take ourselves a bit more lightly, we might find that we can fly through our work rather than trudging through it." Seriousness often stems from a belief that work must be difficult and strenuous to be valuable. But this belief can lead to stress and burnout. By approaching work with a sense of humor and lightness, we can reduce stress and increase our enjoyment. This doesn't mean being frivolous or careless, but rather bringing a sense of joy and playfulness to our tasks. Another important aspect of work is recognizing the value of nonsense. Much of life, including work, doesn't always make sense in a logical, straightforward way, and that's perfectly fine. There's a kind of magic in nonsense, a joy in the absurdity of life. When we embrace the nonsensical aspects of work, we can find humor and joy in unexpected places. This can make our daily tasks feel less like a grind and more like a playful exploration of the world. Nonsense allows us to break free from rigid thinking and embrace the spontaneity and creativity of life. It reminds us that not everything needs to have a serious, logical purpose. By finding joy in the absurd and the unexpected, we can bring a sense of playfulness and lightness to our work, making it more enjoyable and fulfilling. One of the most profound truths about work is its potential to anchor us in the present moment. When we fully engage with our work, we enter a state of flow, where time seems to disappear and we become one with task at hand. This state of flow is deeply satisfying and fulfilling. It's a reminder that true happiness and satisfaction are found not in some distant future, but in fully engaging with the present moment. When we are in flow, we are completely absorbed in what we are doing, experiencing a sense of timelessness and immersion. This state is often associated with peak performance and creativity. By focusing on the present moment and fully engaging with our tasks, we can find a deep sense of fulfillment and joy in our work. Creativity is a vital component of work. When we bring our creativity to our tasks, we infuse them with our unique perspective and energy. This not only makes the work more enjoyable, but it also adds value to what we are doing. Creativity allows us to see our work in new and innovative ways. It helps us to break free from the routine and discover new possibilities. By embracing our creative potential, we can transform our work into a source of inspiration and fulfillment. Creativity is not limited to the arts. It can be applied to any task or profession. It involves thinking outside the box, finding new solutions, and bringing a sense of innovation to our work. By tapping into our creative potential, we can make our work more engaging and fulfilling. Many people struggle to find meaning in their work. They feel that their tasks are mundane or unimportant. But meaning is not something that is inherent in the work itself. It is something that we bring to our work. When we approach our tasks with a sense of purpose and intention, we infuse them with meaning. This can transform even the most mundane tasks into something significant and fulfilling. Meaning comes from our own perception and attitude towards our work. By finding a sense of purpose in what we are doing, we can transform our work into a source of fulfillment and joy. This involves connecting our tasks to a larger vision or goal, and finding ways to contribute to the well-being of others through our work. Taking time to rest and reflect can help us to approach our work with renewed energy and creativity. It allows us to see our tasks in a new light and discover new possibilities. Rest and reflection are essential for maintaining a healthy balance in our lives. They provide an opportunity to step back, gain perspective, and recharge our energy. By incorporating regular periods of rest and reflection into our routine, we can approach our work with greater clarity and creativity, making it more fulfilling and sustainable. To understand the truth about work, we must recognize that work is not an isolated activity, but deeply interconnected with the rest of our lives. Our work shapes our identity, our relationships, and our overall sense of well-being. It's important to see work not as a separate compartment, but as a part of the seamless flow of life. When we see work as an integral part of our life, we begin to understand that how we approach our work affects our overall experience of life. If we approach work with stress and resentment, this attitude will spill over into other areas of our life, affecting our relationships, our health, and our happiness. Conversely, if we can approach work with a sense of joy, curiosity, and engagement, this positive attitude will also influence other aspects of our life. The interconnectedness of work and life means that we cannot separate our work life from our personal life. They are intertwined, each influencing the other. In the world we live in, there's a curious phenomenon that dominates our existence, a perpetual state of preparation. From the earliest moments of our lives, we're caught in a cycle that seems to be constantly gearing us up for the next stage. Think about it. As soon as we start nursery school, we're told it's to prepare us for kindergarten. Kindergarten, in turn, is to get us ready for first grade. This sequence continues unabated through elementary school, middle school, high school, and then on to college and beyond. Each phase is merely a precursor, a preparation for the next, an unending series of stepping stones leading to an elusive destination. But this doesn't stop when we finish our formal education. Once we enter the workforce, the same pattern ensues. Our first job is framed as preparation for a better position, each promotion a step towards a loftier goal. We're always in training, always gearing up for a future that seems just around the corner. This conditioning fosters a mindset that the real life, the fulfilling, contented existence we yearn for, is perpetually just out of reach, waiting for us at the end of this preparatory journey. Upon entering the workforce, the pattern of perpetual preparation persists. We embark on our careers with the expectation that the first job is just the beginning, a stepping stone towards bigger and better things. Each promotion, each new opportunity is seen as a step closer to a final destination, a point of arrival where fulfillment and contentment await. This creates a continuous forward-looking mindset where the present is always just a precursor to the future. As the years pass, many find themselves caught in this cycle, always anticipating the next big break or achievement. The culmination of this journey is often marked by a midlife crisis, a moment of reckoning that typically occurs around the age of 45. At this juncture, many realize that despite all the achievements, promotions, and successes, the sense of arrival they've been striving for remains out of reach. The fulfillment they expected to find at the pinnacle of their careers feels disappointingly absent. Our culture paints retirement as the ultimate reward for a lifetime of hard work. The narrative goes that if we toil diligently, save prudently, and endure the daily grind, we will be rewarded with a golden period of leisure and freedom. Retirement is often portrayed as the time when we can finally do all the things we've always wanted to do, but never had the time for. It's the pot of gold at the end of the working rainbow. However, this idyllic vision of retirement is often accompanied by a harsh reality. As we age, we encounter the inevitable decline in energy and health. The tasks and activities we dreamed of pursuing may now seem daunting or even unattainable. The vigor and vitality required to enjoy these pursuits are often diminished by the very process of aging. What was once envisioned as a time of boundless freedom and opportunity can become a period marked by physical limitations and health challenges. Moreover, the sense of fulfillment that retirement promises is frequently undermined by a lingering feeling of impotence. Having spent a lifetime defined by work and productivity, stepping away from this identity can lead to a sense of loss and purposelessness. The daily structure and sense of contribution provided by work are not easily replaced, leaving many retirees struggling to find a new sense of purpose. One of the most pervasive aspects of our cultural conditioning is the division of life into work and play. This dichotomy creates a narrative where work is seen as a necessary evil, a means to an end, while play is perceived as the reward, the true source of pleasure and enjoyment. Work is something we do to earn money, which we then spend on leisure activities that supposedly bring us happiness. This division is deeply ingrained in our societal values and manifests in various ways. From a young age, we are taught to see work as a duty, something that must be done to achieve success and stability. Play, on the other hand, is often viewed as a luxury, something to be indulged in only once the work is done. This creates a mindset where the present moment is often sacrificed for future rewards, perpetuating the cycle of perpetual preparation and future-oriented thinking. However, this dichotomy between work and play is fundamentally flawed. It implies that work is inherently unpleasant and that true pleasure can only be found outside of it. Yet, genuine pleasure and fulfillment come not from the mere act of leisure, but from engaging in meaningful activities that require skill, discipline, and passion. The joy of creating, learning, and contributing can be found in both work and play when approached with the right mindset. One of the most pervasive myths in our culture is the belief that money can buy pleasure. We are constantly bombarded with advertisements and messages that equate material possessions with happiness and fulfillment. The allure of luxury cars, fancy boats, and the latest gadgets is presented as the key to a joyful and successful life. This belief system suggests that the more we accumulate, the happier we will be. However, the pursuit of material wealth often leads to a hollow sense of satisfaction. True pleasure and fulfillment cannot be bought with money. They come from meaningful engagement with life. The act of acquiring possessions may bring a temporary sense of excitement, but it rarely leads to lasting happiness. Once the novelty wears off, we are left searching for the next acquisition to fill the void. Consider the example of owning a boat. The dream of sailing on open waters, feeling the wind in your hair, and enjoying the freedom of the sea is undeniably appealing. However, the reality of owning a boat involves much more than just the initial purchase. Without the knowledge and skill of seamanship, the boat can quickly become a source of stress and frustration. The joy of owning a boat comes not from the possession itself, but from the art and discipline of sailing. Fulfillment is not a destination, it is a way of being. In our quest for success and happiness, we often overlook the simple truth that fulfillment arises from within, not from external achievements or possessions. The constant striving for more money, more success, more possessions leads to a never-ending cycle of dissatisfaction. True fulfillment comes from being present, engaging deeply with life, and finding joy in the process rather than the outcome. To understand the true nature of fulfillment, we must first recognize the importance of being present. The present moment is all we ever truly have. The past is gone, and the future is uncertain. When we are fully present, we can engage with life in a way that is rich and meaningful. We can appreciate the beauty of the world around us, connect deeply with others, and find joy in the simple act of being. Living in the present moment is a simple yet profound practice that can transform our experience of life. The present moment is all we ever truly have. The past is gone, and the future is yet to come. By fully embracing the present, we can find a sense of peace and fulfillment that eludes us when we are constantly dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. The practice of being present involves bringing our full attention to the here and now. It means letting go of regrets about the past and anxieties about the future and focusing on the present moment. This can be challenging, as our minds are often filled with a constant stream of thoughts and distractions. However, with practice, we can learn to quiet the mind and bring our attention to the present. One of the most effective ways to cultivate presence is through mindfulness meditation. This practice involves sitting quietly and paying attention to the breath, sensations in the body, or sounds around us. Whenever the mind wanders, we gently bring our attention back to the present moment. Over time, this practice can help us develop a greater sense of presence and awareness in our daily lives. Life is not a series of tasks to be completed or goals to be achieved. It is a dance to be enjoyed. This dance involves finding balance between work and play, effort and relaxation, and striving and letting go. When we see life as a dance, we can find joy and fulfillment in the process rather than constantly seeking the next achievement. The dance of life involves embracing the flow of life and being open to whatever comes our way. It means letting go of rigid plans and expectations and being flexible and adaptable. This openness allows us to experience the richness and beauty of life in ways we may not have anticipated. Life is inherently uncertain, and our attempts to control and predict the future often lead to unnecessary stress and anxiety. Embracing uncertainty is about accepting the unknown and finding peace in the present moment. When we let go of the need to control everything, we can open ourselves to new possibilities and experiences. Embracing uncertainty is recognizing that it is a natural part of life. No matter how much we plan or prepare, the future is always uncertain. This uncertainty can be a source of anxiety, but it can also be a source of excitement and possibility. By shifting our perspective, we can learn to embrace the unknown and find joy in the journey. Work, in its essence, is often seen as a means to exert control over our lives. We believe that by working harder, achieving more, and acquiring wealth and status, we can shape our destinies according to our desires. However, by pointing out the inherent fallacy in our pursuit of control, the desire for control stems from a deep-seated fear of uncertainty and impermanence. We seek to control our lives as a way to mitigate these fears, to create a sense of stability and security in an inherently unpredictable world. But in our quest for control, we often overlook the fundamental truth that life itself is inherently uncertain and impermanent. The analogy of trying to drink up the ocean with a fork to illustrate the futility of our attempts to control the world around us. No matter how hard we work or how much we achieve, we can never truly control the outcome of our lives. External circumstances, unforeseen events, and the actions of others will always play a role in shaping our experiences. Instead of viewing work as a means to control our lives, to embrace the uncertainty and impermanence of life, to surrender to the flow of existence rather than resist it. By letting go of our need for control, we can find a deeper sense of peace and acceptance in our lives. Emphasizes the importance of living in the present moment rather than constantly striving for some future goal. True happiness and fulfillment can only be found in the here and now, in fully experiencing and appreciating the present moment without the need to control or manipulate it. In the context of work, this means approaching our tasks and responsibilities with a sense of presence and mindfulness. Instead of viewing work as a means to an end, as a way to achieve some future goal or outcome, we can see it as an opportunity to fully engage with the present moment, to immerse ourselves in the task at hand without attachment to the outcome. By letting go of our illusions of control and embracing the uncertainty of life, we can find a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment in our work and in our lives as a whole. Work ceases to be a burden or a means to an end, but becomes a celebration of life itself, a way to engage with the world around us in a meaningful and authentic way. In essence, the truth about work is that it is not about controlling our lives or achieving some external goal. It is about embracing the uncertainty and impermanence of life and finding joy and fulfillment in the present moment. Our society places a high value on understanding and explanation. We believe that the more we can explain and understand, the closer we come to truth and mastery over our world. However, by pointing out the inherent limitations and complexities of explanation, the act of explaining often serves to complicate rather than clarify our understanding of the world. The example of a botanist dissecting a flower to illustrate this point. While the botanist may be able to explain the intricate processes of reproduction and growth within the flower, this explanation does not truly capture the essence of the flower itself. In fact, the very act of explaining can serve to distance us from the true beauty and simplicity of the flower. The problem lies in the limitations of language and intellect. Words are inherently clumsy tools for describing the complexities of the natural world. When we try to put the processes of nature into words, we inevitably oversimplify or distort our understanding of them. Instead of relying solely on explanation and analysis, we should learn to appreciate the world directly without the need for words or concepts. He encourages us to look at the world with fresh eyes, to see things as they are rather than as we think they should be. In doing so, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the beauty and complexity of the world around us. In the context of work, this means approaching our tasks and responsibilities with a sense of wonder and curiosity. Instead of getting bogged down in explanations and analysis, we can learn to appreciate the simplicity and elegance of the work itself. Whether we are writing a report, designing a building, or cooking a meal, we can find beauty and meaning in the act of creation itself, rather than in the explanations we construct around it. By letting go of our need to explain and understand everything, we can open ourselves up to a deeper, more profound experience of the world. Work ceases to be a series of tasks to be completed or problems to be solved, but becomes a celebration of the beauty and complexity of life itself. In essence, the truth about work is that it is not about explaining or understanding the world, but about experiencing it directly and fully. When we let go of our need for explanations and analysis, we can find a deeper sense of connection and meaning in our work and in our lives as a whole. In our modern society, success is often equated with material wealth, status, and achievement. We are taught from a young age that success is something to be pursued at all costs, that it is the key to happiness and fulfillment. However, Alan Watts challenges this notion by suggesting that our pursuit of success is often misguided and ultimately unfulfilling. Our obsession with success stems from a deep-seated fear of failure and inadequacy. We believe that if we can achieve a certain level of success, we will finally be happy and fulfilled. This is a fallacy. Success, in and of itself, does not lead to happiness. It is merely a temporary state of being, a fleeting moment of accomplishment that quickly fades away. The problem lies in our misunderstanding of the nature of success. We believe that success is something external, something that can be measured by wealth, status, or achievement. But true success is something internal, something that comes from a deep sense of self-awareness and acceptance. Instead of chasing after external markers of success, we should focus on cultivating inner success. This means developing a sense of self-awareness and acceptance and finding fulfillment in the present moment rather than in some future goal or achievement. In the context of work, this means approaching our careers with a sense of purpose and meaning, rather than simply striving for external success. Instead of chasing after promotions, raises, or accolades, we can find fulfillment in the work itself, in the act of creation and contribution. The dangers of attachment to success. Our attachment to success can lead to suffering as we become trapped in a cycle of craving and dissatisfaction. Instead of clinging to our successes, Watts encourages us to let go and embrace the impermanence of life. By letting go of our attachment to success and embracing the present moment, we can find a deeper sense of fulfillment and meaning in our work and in our lives as a whole. Work ceases to be a means to an end, but becomes a celebration of life itself, a way to engage with the world around us in a meaningful and authentic way. In essence, the truth about work is that it is not about achieving external markers of success, but about finding inner fulfillment and meaning. When we let go of our attachment to success and embrace the present moment, we can find true happiness and fulfillment in our work and in our lives as a whole. In our modern society, work is often viewed as a means to an end. We work to earn money, to achieve success, to fulfill our responsibilities. This view of work misses the true essence of what it means to be alive. Far from being a burden or a chore, is actually a celebration of existence itself. Life is a celebration, the grand cosmic dance of which we are all a part. Every moment, every breath, every action is an expression of this celebration. Work, then, is simply another expression of this celebration, another way in which we can engage with the world and with each other. In our pursuit of success and achievement, we often lose sight of this fundamental truth. We become so focused on our goals and ambitions that we forget to enjoy the journey, to savor the experience of simply being alive. Life is not a journey with a destination, it is a dance to be enjoyed in each and every moment. So how can we shift our perspective to see work as a celebration of existence? One way is to approach our work with a sense of mindfulness and presence. Instead of rushing through our tasks, we can take the time to savor each moment, to appreciate the beauty and complexity of the work itself. Another way is to cultivate a sense of gratitude for the opportunity to work. Instead of viewing work as a burden or a chore, we can see it as a privilege, a chance to contribute to something greater than ourselves. The importance of play in our lives. Play is not just a frivolous activity, it is an essential part of being human. Through play, we can reconnect with the joy and spontaneity of childhood and rediscover the sense of wonder and awe that is often lost in adulthood. In the context of work, play can take many forms. It can be as simple as finding joy in the tasks themselves, or as profound as approaching our work with a sense of creativity and exploration. By infusing our work with a spirit of play, we can transform even the most mundane tasks into moments of joy and discovery. The concept of reproduction extends beyond biology. We see this in the way humans strive to reproduce images, ideas, and even themselves. In the realm of work, we see a similar phenomenon. We work not only to earn a living, but also to reproduce the idea of work itself. In the pursuit of work, humans have created elaborate systems and structures that perpetuate the necessity of work. We have constructed economies that rely on continuous production and consumption, creating a cycle where work begets work. This cycle is fueled by our belief that work is essential for survival and success, leading us to dedicate much of our lives to the pursuit of work. But what if this belief is misguided? What if work is not the key to a fulfilling life, but rather a distraction from it? In many ways, our obsession with work has led us away from the true essence of life. We have become so consumed by the need to work that we have forgotten how to truly live. The idea of work as a means of reproduction is deeply ingrained in our society. We are taught from a young age that success is achieved through hard work and dedication. We are told that if we work hard enough, we can achieve anything. But this mindset only serves to perpetuate the cycle of work, keeping us trapped in a never-ending quest for success. In reality, work is just one aspect of life, and not necessarily the most important one. While work can provide us with a sense of purpose and fulfillment, it should not define who we are. We are more than just workers, we are complex beings with a multitude of desires and interests. To break free from the cycle of work, we must first acknowledge the role that work plays in our lives. We must recognize that work is just a part of the human experience, and not the entirety of it. Once we understand this, we can begin to explore other aspects of life that bring us joy and fulfillment. Ultimately, the reproduction of work is a choice that we make. We can choose to continue perpetuating the cycle of work, or we can choose to break free from it and explore life in all its richness and complexity. The choice is ours, and ours alone. Work is often seen as a means to progress and success. We believe that through hard work, we can improve our lives and achieve our goals. However, this notion of progress is illusory. We are like hamsters on a wheel, constantly working but never truly moving forward. In our society, progress is often measured by material success. We are taught to believe that if we work hard enough, we can attain wealth, status, and happiness. This belief is deeply ingrained in our culture, leading us to prioritize work above all else. But what if this pursuit of progress is misguided? What if our obsession with success is actually hindering our ability to live fulfilling lives? The truth is, progress is not synonymous with success. While material wealth and status may bring temporary satisfaction, true progress comes from within. Progress is not about achieving external goals, but rather about personal growth and development. It is about becoming the best version of ourselves and living in alignment with our values and beliefs. This kind of progress cannot be measured by external standards, but by our own internal sense of fulfillment and purpose. Work often distracts us from this kind of progress. We become so focused on achieving external success that we lose sight of what truly matters. We sacrifice our health, relationships, and happiness in pursuit of a goal that ultimately leaves us feeling empty and unfulfilled. But it doesn't have to be this way. We can choose to redefine progress on our own terms. We can choose to prioritize our well-being and happiness over external success. We can choose to live in alignment with our values and beliefs rather than society's expectations. True progress comes from living authentically and embracing the present moment. It comes from recognizing that success is not measured by what we achieve, but by how we live our lives. It comes from understanding that true happiness comes from within and cannot be found in external possessions or achievements. In our society, work is central to our identity. We believe that our work defines us and gives us purpose. But this is a mistaken belief. Just as every living being perceives itself as the center of the universe, we too believe that our work is the center of our existence. The idea that work is central to our identity is deeply ingrained in our culture. From a young age, we are taught to value hard work and to believe that our worth is tied to our productivity. We are led to believe that without work, we are nothing. But this belief is fundamentally flawed. Our identity is not defined by our work, but by who we are as individuals. Work may be a part of our lives, but it does not define us. We are complex beings with a multitude of interests, passions, and talents that extend far beyond the confines of our jobs. The notion that our work is the center of our existence is also misguided. Just as every living being perceives itself as the center of the universe, we too believe that our work is the center of our lives. But this belief is an illusion. In reality, the universe does not revolve around us or our work. We are just one small part of a much larger whole. To break free from this illusion, we must first recognize that our identity is not tied to our work. We are not defined by the work we do, but by who we are as individuals. Once we understand this, we can begin to explore other aspects of our lives that bring us joy and fulfillment. We can also learn to see ourselves as part of a larger whole. Just as every living being perceives itself as the center of the universe, we too can learn to see ourselves as part of something greater. This shift in perspective can help us to see that our work is just one small part of a much larger picture. Ultimately, the idea that our work is the center of our existence is a limiting belief that prevents us from fully experiencing life. By letting go of this belief, we can open ourselves up to new possibilities and a deeper sense of fulfillment. We can learn to see ourselves as part of a larger whole, and to find meaning and purpose beyond the confines of our jobs. Work is often associated with creation, but it is also a form of destruction. When we work, we expend energy and resources, ultimately leading to the destruction of our environment and ourselves. This cycle of creation and destruction is inherent in the nature of work. In our society, work is often seen as a means of creation. We create products, services, and ideas that contribute to the advancement of society. But in the process of creation, we also engage in destruction. We consume natural resources, pollute the environment, and often neglect our own well-being in the pursuit of productivity. This cycle of creation and destruction is inherent in the nature of work. We create to fulfill our needs and desires, but in doing so, we also destroy. We deplete the Earth's resources, pollute the air and water, and contribute to the degradation of our planet. But it's not just the environment that suffers from this cycle of creation and destruction. We ourselves are also affected. The constant pressure to work, to produce, to achieve, takes a toll on our mental and physical health. We sacrifice our well-being in the pursuit of productivity, leading to stress, anxiety, and burnout. So, what is the solution? How can we break free from this cycle of creation and destruction? The answer lies in finding a balance. We must learn to create without destroying, to work without sacrificing our well-being or the well-being of the planet. This requires a shift in mindset. Instead of viewing work as a means to an end, we must see it as a part of the larger tapestry of life. We must prioritize sustainability and well-being over productivity and profit. We must learn to create in harmony with the earth, rather than at its expense. Ultimately, the cycle of creation and destruction is a choice that we make. We can choose to continue down the path of destruction, or we can choose to break free from it and create a more sustainable future for ourselves and for the planet. The choice is ours, and the time to act is now. In truth, work is a product of our collective imagination. It is a concept that we have created and assigned value to. But beyond this illusion of work lies the ultimate reality. We are not defined by our work, but by our existence in the present moment. Work, as we understand it, is a construct of human society. It is a concept that we have collectively agreed upon and imbued with meaning and value. We have created elaborate systems and structures to support this concept, from economies to institutions to social norms. But beyond this construct lies a deeper reality, one that transcends the boundaries of work and encompasses the entirety of human existence. At the heart of this deeper reality is the present moment. The present moment is the only moment that truly exists, the only moment in which we can experience life in its fullness. Yet, we often overlook the present moment in our pursuit of work and productivity. We become so consumed by the past and the future that we forget to live in the here and now. The idea of reproduction extends beyond biology. This can be seen in how humans strive to replicate images, ideas, and even themselves. In the context of work, a similar phenomenon is observed. We engage in work not just to earn a living, but also to perpetuate the concept of work itself. In the pursuit of work, humans have established complex systems and structures that perpetuate the need for work. Economies have been constructed that rely on continual production and consumption. creating a cycle where work leads to more work. This cycle is driven by our belief that work is crucial for survival and achievement, leading us to dedicate a significant portion of our lives to working. However, what if this belief is mistaken? What if work is not the key to a fulfilling life, but rather a distraction from it? In many ways, our preoccupation with work has diverted us from the true essence of life. We have become so fixated on the need to work that we have forgotten how to truly live. The notion of work as a means of reproduction is deeply embedded in our society. From a young age, we are taught that success comes through hard work and dedication. We are told that with enough effort, we can accomplish anything. Yet, this mindset only serves to perpetuate the cycle of work, keeping us ensnared in an endless pursuit of success. In reality, work is just one facet of life, and not necessarily the most crucial one. While work can provide us with a sense of purpose and satisfaction, it should not define our identities. We are more than just workers, we are multifaceted individuals with a range of desires and interests. To break free from the cycle of work, we must first recognize the role that work plays in our lives. We must acknowledge that work is just a part of the human experience, not the entirety of it. Once we grasp this, we can begin to explore other aspects of life that bring us joy and fulfillment. Ultimately, the reproduction of work is a choice that we make. We can choose to perpetuate the cycle of work, or we can choose to break free from it and explore life's richness and complexity. The choice is ours, and it is up to us to determine the course of our lives.